Jaguar versus crocodile. Conventional logic says that you probably shouldn't go picking a fight with a crocodile. But that same logic also says that you shouldn't pick a fight with a jaguar, or, you know what, just don't fight with nature. How about that? Of all the world's big cats, the jaguars are incredibly impressive, given their eagerness to hunt in the water. For instance, take this video, which shows a jaguar hunting for some kind of food in the water. In any other circumstance, the crocodile would be considered the de facto winner of just about any predator/prey combination.
Now, jaguar diet consists of upwards of 85 species, more than 85 species of different animal.
And yet, when the jaguar spots the crocodile sitting peacefully on an island in the middle of the water, it decides to pursue the crocodile and get a free meal. Against all the odds, the jaguar actually manages to sneak up behind the croc, launching onto it and subduing it before it can even get to the water. And while the crocodile does admirably fight back, it's no good. This jaguar has won. This is one of nature's strangest mashups, but clearly the jaguar won fair and square. This is a masterful takedown of one of the most notoriously aggressive predators on the planet. And while I wouldn't want to chew through those scales, giraffes are magnificent animals, so elegant, so graceful. But did you know that they're also incredibly dangerous? Apparently they have such a strong kick that it could kill a lion and knock off some precious limbs simultaneously. That's an impressive kick. This video shows what happened when one innocent giraffe found itself targeted by not one, but two aggressive lions. While the giraffe does its best to escape the relentless pursuit of the lions, it's futile. Eventually, the giraffe is forced to take action when one of the lions launches itself right toward it. Refusing to slow down, the giraffe just barrels right through, knocking the lion down with one of those strong legs. And it seems to work. After receiving just one of those harsh stops, the lion appears to recognize that the whole thing is utterly futile and doesn't get up again. Success! Clearly the giraffe is a much stronger animal than anyone really gives it credit for. I mean, how many animals can you name that could survive a run-in with two lions by basically stomping it to the ground? Or that could kill a lion and knock its head off with a single kick? That's a pretty small club, I imagine. Number 6. Stag versus bison. Deer and stag are widely considered the ultimate prey animals, popular with just about every major predator. Apparently that's even true of the bison. Especially if this video is anything to go by. It's time for stag versus bison, folks. Ding, ding. When this bison notices the stag and his family enjoying a peaceful day in the wild, he decides it's an excellent opportunity for a little intimidation. Unfortunately for him, the stag is more than willing to stand up for its family, threatening right back. The bison comes around once again, sending another clear message to the stag, who immediately launches into attack mode, charging forward with its horns pointed toward the bison. Thankfully, the situation doesn't escalate. The bison, recognizing that the stag has effectively called its bluff and won, decides to back down and move on peacefully. Guess those horns come in handy. Had this bison decided to intimidate a deer, this whole situation would have gone very differently. But instead, he happened to stumble upon the best stag father in all the land. How unfortunate. No doubt he had to return to his own family with some shame, but you know what? He deserves that for instigating an unnecessary. Of all the primates on our planet, chimps are easily the most difficult. They seem to thrive on starting fights or just generally being a pain in the ass. Thankfully, we now know that they're not just like this to humans. Raccoons apparently are also victims. This video shows a small group of chimps reacting to a raccoon that happened to find its way into their enclosure at the St. Louis Zoo. Naturally, the chimp's first reaction is confusion, followed by the instinct to basically just torture this mystery guest for a while. And that's exactly what they do. The footage shows the chimps throwing the raccoon around, poking it endlessly, and just generally being jerks to the poor thing. Eventually, the raccoon finds a hole to escape, but the chimps refuse to let him leave, pulling him back. Naturally, the raccoon grows hostile, lashing out at the monkeys and sending them leaping away. You don't cross a raccoon. Eventually, the raccoon managed to escape the enclosure, but only after it began lashing out at the bullying chimps. And honestly, who can blame the little guy? These chimps were just acting like jerks. If it were a skunk, the whole place would have stunk like a sewer. So you'll all know that the lion is the king of the jungle, but how many of you know that baboons are major killers of leopard and lion cubs? That is absolutely true. Apparently, these species have a long rivalry in the animal kingdom, but we just pretend that the Lion King is real instead. It's happier. This video shows one of these epic battles between a lioness and a baboon. Presumably, the baboon found the lioness's cubs unattended and began preparing to kill and eat them, only to be caught. And as we've said over and over, an angry mother is never a good thing. Soon, the whole pride of lions comes out to help find, catch, and kill the baboon as an act of group vengeance. Apparently, lions are very much like the mafia. It's a family affair. This baboon clearly wasn't thinking when he attempted to kidnap and eat the lion cubs. Eventually, the lion was able to capture and kill the baboon in what must be the ultimate act of revenge for an enraged mother. At least it was for Academy Award winner Sally Field in the 1996 psychological thriller Eye for an Eye. There's a reference you don't hear versus bears. In 1995, Yellowstone National Park reintroduced gray wolves to its natural wildlife. Over 2 decades later, that single decision has kicked up a whole new conflict for resources with the park's grizzly bears. While the poor elk calves have suffered more than anybody, this conflict has seen tragedy on all sides. The question of who exactly is the wrong opponent varies from instance to instance, but it seems both fighters have their benefits. Grizzlies are more powerful, but wolves have sheer numbers on their side. However, one wins more often than the other. It seems no matter how many times wolves pick fights with the grizzlies, they just can't seem to win. One witness claims to have seen a single grizzly taking on 24 wolves at once, controlling the situation effortlessly. That's the kind of energy I think we all wish we had, right? GBE. Grizzly Bear Energy. Despite their continued struggle to win against the grizzlies, the wolves just won't give up on their quest to be the strongest predator in Yellowstone. They're not succeeding, but I always give kudos to people who dedicate their lives to delusion. It's the best way to live your life, says me, a 16-time Academy Award winning. Look, nobody likes sharing food. If you wanted what I ordered, you should have ordered it. I won't apologize, Dylan. Sorry, got a bit personal there. Where was I? Right, birds. Also, they don't like to share their food. And we have a video. Just for the record, I was right not to share my food with Dylan, though. The video shows a group of pelicans receiving a free meal of fish from what looks to be a restaurant or store of some kind. However, this act of generosity is soon disrupted by the arrival of a seagull, who is immediately outraged over what he deems to be unfair or preferential treatment. So his instincts lead him to try and forcibly steal some fish out of the pelican's mouth. How does that work out? Not well. The pelican holds onto that fish as if his life depends on it, and when 2 other pelicans join in, the seagull naturally hurries away. The seagull really thought that he could just turn up and steal a meal right out of the pelican's mouth? Nice try, bud. When it comes to free food, there are no rules. First come, first serve, Amy. Wait, man, I have a lot of food beefs with people. There's a future versus rat. If an animal decides it's going to eat you, there are really only two options: lay down and just take it, or fight back and refuse to die. Most humans just go for the first one because it burns fewer calories, but some animals would rather fight to the death. This video shows the battle royale between an aggressive stoat and a particularly feisty rat. After spotting the rat in the grass, the stoat wastes absolutely no time in leaping on it. What follows is a surprisingly energetic brawl that sees the two animals rolling around in the grass and on the road. But just as it seems that the stoat has won the fight, the rat begins fighting back with some strength, giving as good as it gets. Unfortunately, the video ends sharply, so we don't know who won the fight. Feel free to make up your own ending. Have fun! As all predators seem to do, this stoat really thought the rat would just lay down and accept its death. No chance. This rat was not going down without a fight, even if that meant it would break every bone in its own body. Mad respect for that rat. Disney didn't have the cojones to feature a stoat attack in Ratatouille, but maybe in a sequel.